Theo Parnell is a first-wave division agent who has joined forces with Erin. Backed by the Rikers and impressive skills in engineering, technology and hacking, he brings a number of valuable assets to Keena's mission. For this reason, he has a target on his head, and the division are pulling everything out to put a stop to his involvement in the chaos that is spreading around Lower Manhattan. Theo Parnell showed academic excellence from an early age. Unfortunately, this, coupled with a strong mistrust of authority, led to a number of altercations with his teachers, and eventually much larger legal complications whilst he was growing up.
Congressman Parnell, do you have anything to say about Professor Spencer's recent allegations regarding your son, Theo?
I have nothing further to add. As I stated in my press release, these allegations are completely unfounded.
Professor Spencer shared his car's data logs with us this morning, which suggests that the software indeed was tampered with. It corroborates his story.
Which has nothing to do with my son. Now, if you'll excuse me.
4 months ago, your son posted hacking tutorials online, several of which featured similar car systems being cracked. Videos that have since been removed.
Look, I know my son. He's a smart, clever boy. He likes to pick things apart to see how they work. But he's a respectful, honorable, and kind young man.
Have you seen the video Theo posted of the accident?
I am confident that he will be fully exonerated. Thank you.
As the son of a US senator, his father was able to use his political position to keep his son out of trouble, and more importantly, keep his exploits off record. This certainly wasn't without damage to his own public image though, and he was harshly criticised by others within his political circle. Over the course of time, Parnell found his feet, curbed his escapades, and became a Navy remotely piloted aircraft or RPA pilot, as well as an exceptional mechanical engineer. Eventually, Parnell was recruited by the Strategic Homeland Division for his technical expertise and his highly innovative approach to problem solving. During a psychological evaluation, it was noted that he showed extensive analytical thinking. However, his weakness or flaw is that he's incredibly cautious in trusting higher authority, and it was noticed that this may cause some conflict in the future. In regards to the division, he was activated as a first-wave division agent to assist the JTF in maintaining control of the quarantine zone in Manhattan. Not long after the operation failed and the JTF pulled out, Parnell's father passed away under suspicious circumstances. It was around this time that paranoia set in. He became highly suspicious of the government and their objectives.
I still can't pin anything directly to Kensington. She was out of DC when it happened, and I don't have any records of meetings or calls with anyone who could carry out a hit. She's smart. Probably knew I would look at her first. I need to find another angle. Even if they use burner phones and have staffers scrubbing their data, there's no way they can completely cover their tracks. Eventually, they'll expose themselves, and I'll be ready. I know Kensington had my dad killed to protect Waller. I know why, I know how, I just can't prove it. Yet.
Later on, while patrolling Lower Manhattan, Parnell ran into a newly rogued agent by the name of Erin and promptly drew his gun and locked it onto him.
Don't move!
So much power in one finger.
I said don't move!
Now, you wouldn't shoot me in the back, now would you, Theo?
You're rogue, sir!
Keener or Erin? Not sir. We're equals. I'm not your SO anymore.
They're saying you committed war crimes!
Who, the JTF? People who walled us in to die? Or Isaac?
Whoa. Are you saying Isaac's been compromised?
I know you, Theo. You know how tech can be exploited. I'm just asking, do I seem rogue to you? Or is the problem somewhere higher up?
Unsurprisingly, and in classic Keener style, he smoothly talked Parnell around. He fed into his already suspicious nature, and in his mind, Keener confirmed to him that the system, the government, and the division was without a doubt corrupt to the core. Keener wholeheartedly encouraged Parnell to look into the allegations, seek the whole story, and go beyond the curve. And of course he would be more than happy to lend out his own contacts to assist in finding the truth. Through these interactions, Keener was able to convince Parnell to join him, as he was well aware of what he was capable of, and Keener knew his skills as a tech specialist would further benefit him in his future plans in regards to the government, a new virus, and his very own rogue network.
No. Isaac has access to every database known to the U.S. government. I'm still getting Stonewall.
Isaac's got restrictions. Clearance levels that you can't access. There's still plenty of the powers that be don't want you to know.
Like, what really happened?
To the first wave?
Yeah. Everything's a rumor, but we've got cameras and mics everywhere. It shouldn't be this hard to find out the truth.
It's only hard when they want it to be hard.
So it's true. They left you to die? Cut their losses because we're expendable?
Yeah, that's the fine print on the contract. We are the last line of defense when the shit hits the fan. But really, they're just using us to shield them from the shit.
I wish I knew who they are.
Well, they're easy to spot. Just look for who's still clean, who still has resources that they shouldn't have.
You think the same people behind my dad's death are responsible for the first wave?
I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone has secrets, Theo. And the kind of people who can keep what happened to your dad secret have friends in high places. But if you really want to know what happened, I can help you. I got friends in higher places. How's the hunt going? You get any new leads for my intel?
You were right. There's so much shit to uncover. Did you know that Mendez didn't commit suicide?
Oh, yeah. That's clearly a hit.
You think the same people are responsible for my dad?
It's possible. Your dad and Ellis never really saw eye to eye. He wasn't the kind of man you could easily control or manipulate, unlike Ellis.
I didn't think Ellis had that much power.
Well, he's president now. He's always been ambitious. Wouldn't surprise me if he felt threatened by your dad, worried about him taking speaker in the next election cycle if the majority turned.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Theo, if you're not too busy, I could use your help with something.
Sure. What do you need?
Do you think you'll be able to hack and reprogram an encrypted guidance system?
Well, I can try. You know I love a challenge.
Keener continued to feed Parnell's suspicions. He provided him a number of answers and gave him the means to find intel that would have otherwise been hidden to him. Because of these resources and their like-minded thinking, Keener was able to persuade Parnell to join his side. He eventually disavowed the division, began working for Keener, and together they started acting out on Keener's plans to eliminate the division, the government, and those calling the shots.
Attention all agents. This is an emergency alert. The division is compromised. You have been led to believe that you serve a noble cause, that you are empowered to do whatever it takes to save what remains. But you don't know the whole story. You don't know who's pulling the strings and giving the orders. The truth is that you are all unknowingly serving a shadowy group of profiteers, a group that doesn't want to restore democracy and freedom, but create a fascist plutocracy that only benefits themselves. The division is nothing but a tool to serve their agenda. The division does not serve the state. It does not serve the people. Look at the data. Don't take my word for it. Look for yourselves. You'll see I'm telling the truth.
Parnell is now working for Keener. Almost immediately, he is given the job of hacking into and reprogramming an encrypted guidance system. Parnell managed to access the code using Isaac and began building a control interface. However, there were issues with remote access. Most cell towers were out of commission, so they'd have to use satellites, and this would require a command center to maintain these systems. Keener provided him with the technology, resources, and an abandoned containment center where he could comfortably complete his tasks. There was a lot of work to be done, and it would take resources, and most importantly, time. And Keener wasn't going to take any chances with outside interference from the division. So he requested that Dragoff send over some manpower in the form of Rikers to look after the facilities, and above all, protect Parnell. One of these men included a Riker by the name of Judge.
Dragoff sent you?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm Theo.
Judge.
So, where's the executioner?
Dragoff said you needed protection.
I don't need protection.
Okay. Look, I know you don't want us here. Stomping all over your precious whatever the fuck this shit is.
Don't worry about it.
But here's the deal. That red ring puts a target on your back. And Dragoff doesn't want anyone to kill you prematurely.
Huh. That's very thoughtful of him.
So we'll stick around until Dragoff tells us to leave. Honestly, I don't give a shit, one way or the other. I'm just hoping some division fuckhead will try to kill you so I can get another trophy.
Right. Well, that's cool. Anyway, I'll be upstairs.
Keener ordered Parnell, along with fellow rogue agents Vivian Conley, James Dragoff, and Javier Kajika to assault the JTF base of operations in Lower Manhattan, City Hall. They attacked the JTF forces on site and set up Keena's newly developed virus-spreading devices. The division agents arrived from Washington, D.C. and investigated the attack. While there, they found evidence pointing directly to Theo Parnell, along with his fellow rogue agent co-conspirators, which proved that they were the ones behind the attacks. After further investigation, it was determined that they were in fact working with Keena. Over the course of time, Parnell was tracked down and found to be residing in the Civic Center district, and through intel gathered by the peacekeepers, he was found to be hiding out in the abandoned containment center. The division quickly followed him into the center, but were ambushed by Rikers upon entering. After swiftly taking the Rikers down, they were then attacked by a number of Parnell's drones while making their way through the compound. Eventually they reached the courthouse and were greeted by another group of Rikers, this time led by a heavy called Judge. Unsurprisingly, although a beast of a man, he was no match for the division. It was fair to say by now, Parnell was running scared. Trapped and chased to the far end of the compound and cornered like a rat in a dead end, hard against the dark zone walls, he contacted Keena and begged him to be extracted. But Keena simply told him to handle his own mess. Parnell was on his own. Forced to engage the division, he utilised his holograms and hacked the dark zone turrets in a futile attempt to hold them back. But the division agents were too strong and managed to push through his drones, turrets and the remaining Rikers and eventually took him down. After defeating Parnell, they commandeered his watch and handed it over to Fei Lau. She would use it to assist in locating Erin Keena. Erin Keena was able to manipulate Theo Parnell into doing his bidding. This isn't to say that Parnell wasn't already on his way, but Keena certainly played on his personality and pushed him towards Team Rogue far sooner than he would have on his own. From the information I was going through, I really couldn't find anything too clear, but given Parnell's expertise, I'd say he was quite heavily involved in the creation and setting up of the Rogue network. But it's tough to tell exactly how long these two were working together. But what do you think? I'm still missing a handful of collectibles in Warlords of New York. Perhaps there is something in there that talks about it. Or maybe we'll find out with the upcoming seasons. Thank you very much to everyone for the support over the last couple of months. We've had some massive growth. Especially a big thank you to those of you who have become members. I'm pretty sure there are options for member-only chats, etc. So if you have anything you want to suggest or ask, go ahead and try those out. Otherwise I'll probably be spending a little less time in the general comments. My wife has told me to stop feeding the trolls. So if you're wanting to get hold of me, jump into my Twitter or Discord, or, you could click that join button. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!